However, these organizations are very ineffective organizations. I would say this should be an independent security organization. No any external power should be included. Maybe we can speak about three scenarios.
Welcome back to our channel. The Middle East has long faced major security challenges mostly because it is in the middle of both regional and global power conflicts. One of the key reasons for this ongoing instability is the lack of a strong regional security architecture. Today, together with retired Brigadier General Ufuk Kuras, we will be discussing the dynamics shaping the region and exploring possible scenarios for the future of Middle East security architecture. Thank you for joining us, Chair.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
First of all, I would like to ask what the term security architecture means. What should we understand by this term?
Regional security architecture, in fact, is a system which is created usually by regional countries with the aim of ensuring stability, security, and defense of a region. It consists of an organization, decision-making structures, intelligence sharing structures, crisis management, establishment, and even sometimes military forces. And as you have mentioned, in the Middle East, there is an absence of a robust security organization. Because of this absence, the region is not able to overcome the security challenges that it faces. I think it is right time for the region to establish a regional security architecture with the participation of regional countries. I would say this should be an independent security organization. No any external power should be included. And in my opinion, it is of vital importance for the security and defense of the region against internal and external threats.
Can you tell us some examples from world for these security architectures, regional architectures?
Yes, it's a good point. I think, first of all, we can say NATO. NATO is a regional defense organization. OSCE, Organization Security Cooperation Europe, or African Union. These are some regional security organizations.
You stated that a regional security architecture is critical for ensuring peace and security in the Middle East. Why hasn't any regional security architecture been established in the Middle East yet?
Indeed, there are several security organizations in the Middle East. Arab League, for example. Another one is Gulf Cooperation Council. However, these organizations are very ineffective organizations. Arab League has some crisis management structures, but has always failed in developing resolutions to the security problems of the region and is not a credible deterrent power against Israel or other threats. Concerning the Gulf Cooperation Council, it's a Gulf region focused organization which I believe that mainly developed to counter threats from Iran. It has some comparatively well-established structure when compared to the Arab League. It even has a standing military force. However, this organization has not any other capabilities to deter, for example, Israel from its aggressive operations in the Middle East. So the two organizations are very ineffective. Organization of Islamic Cooperation. The center of this organization is in Saudi Arabia. This organization is not a regional organization. It is a global organization because some members of this organization are from Africa, Europe, Asia.
Yeah.
And the priority of this organization is the cooperation on economic, social, cultural dimensions between member states. It doesn't have any capacity and structures to function against security problems.
What are the possible scenarios for establishing security architecture or organization in the Middle East? And my second question here, what does a regional security architecture need in order to be effective or successful?
Maybe we can speak about three scenarios. The first scenario is Western-oriented security architecture or Western dominant security architecture. The second one is China, Russia, and Iran dominated security architecture. And the third one is an independent regional security architecture. The United States had a Middle East policy which is based on three pillars. First, the security of Israel, secure flow of energy resources to Western markets, and the third one is the maintenance of US established systems and relationships in the region. However, after the war with Iran, it is understood that the United States is no longer a credible partner because US has not been able to protect its partners in the region, and their partners, especially in the Gulf, are no longer trusting the United States for their security. The United States also had a policy of withdrawing its forces from Middle East and Europe because United States prioritizes China and wants to focus and concentrate its efforts to the Indo-Pacific region. At this stage, as far as I can see, United States wants NATO to engage into the region and to integrate a possible regional security architecture with NATO. But I don't think that this will work. NATO is not a very effective organization. It has 32 member nations. Nations have very diverging national interests. Some nations, like France, still pursues colonialist policies. And indeed, the Western countries, Israel and the United States, are the causes of the security problems in the region. And how could they bring security and stability to the region? So that is a scenario, but I don't think that this scenario can be successful. The second scenario is China, Russia, and Iran. China has expanded its economic influence in the region, but does not have political structures yet to establish strong relations with the countries in the region. And China does not want to also expand its military sphere of influence to other areas because they perceive a high threat from United States and wants to focus on their own region, in the Pacific region. Russia is in war with Ukraine. Iran alone cannot develop a security architecture. It has some allies in the region, but Iran's sphere of influence is also limited. And during the peace negotiations between the United States and Iran, four countries have actively contributed to the efforts. These are Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia. And at this stage, it is considered as an informal structure. I think these four countries can develop a security architecture for the Middle East. However, it should be limited only to the region. And I think at this stage, they should not expand with the joining of other regional countries. First, they should establish a well-functioning security architecture, and in the future, they can invite other regional countries to join this organization. In my opinion, after a real peace is achieved between US and Iran and the peace agreement is implemented, Iran may also join this organization. So in terms of the principles of this organization, my opinion is that no any external power should be included. Sometimes Western powers join such organizations in observer status. They should even not be allowed to take part in these organizations in an observer status. And second, these organizations should not be based upon religion, sectarian, and ethnicity principles. It should focus on the realities on the ground. It should take into account the pragmatic developments and solutions. The countries also should adopt non-interventionist approaches, and they should refrain from intervening into the internal affairs of other members. So with these principles, I believe that a regional security architecture can function. Maybe there is a need for some time to create the necessary structures. It can start by building up the political structures first. It may be followed up by crisis establishment structures.
Here, I another question. Should there be a leader for this regional security architecture?
There is no need for a leadership role. Each member should have equal rights and should be equally represented. And every member should put efforts into the creation of this organization.
Okay.
But you know, Turkey is an experienced country in diplomatic initiatives, military issues, and also with crisis management. So each nation can put their experience into a joint effort, and this can help building a strong security architecture.
Finally, I would like to ask what role Turkey could play in the establishment and operation of such an organization.
As I said, Turkey may contribute based on its experiences, which were gained from many engagements in security issues. Crisis management is one of the areas which Turkey is really well experienced, both in diplomatic efforts and also in military engagements. I think Turkey can contribute significantly and can play a constructive role. And Turkey is a respected country in the region based on its historical background, its relationships with the entire world, and also with the experiences and military power of Turkey. I believe that Turkey's contributions will be well respected and well received by the regional countries.
General, thank you very much for giving explanations and informations about Middle East.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. But I wish to also highlight one point. You know, we made a video about the upcoming NATO summit, and one of our assessments was that United States wants to integrate a possible Middle East security architecture with NATO. I hope this won't happen. We will be watching the conclusions of the upcoming NATO summit. Maybe we can make another video both concerning the NATO issues and also NATO's relations for the Middle East.
Sure, of course, we will do that. Thank you for watching us. Hope to see you again on our next programs. Bye.